Yes, 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 yes. Welcome to Mount Pleasant FA TV. It's round 34 action here. At home, we're at Drax Hall. Back home here, Mount Pleasant FA TV, as your team from Senton takes on the Stars of the East, Harbour View. And of course, one of only 3 teams this season to beat Mount Pleasant would be Harbour View. So a grudge match, sort of a revenge match here, as we welcome you to Drax Hall. Bright and sunny conditions here. Had some early rain, but the sun is now with us, and we welcome you to Drax Hall.
The national anthem of Jamaica, and today it will be sung by none other than Lucky D. Give me the microphone again. Eternal Father, bless guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil. Be our guide to our leader, great defender, grant you wisdom from above. Justice, truth be all forever, Jamaica land we love. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica land we love. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so one verse of the national anthem there, as we give you the starting lineups. For Harbour View in goal, A. Bennett. Number 30, number 23, Ron Brown. Number 9, Andre Fagan. Number 31, D. Green. Number 21, Odelan Harding. Captain today, number 20, Luca Kang. Number 24, T. Lawrence. Number 22, Colorado Murray. Number 6, R. Parchment. Number 45, Trevon Reed. And number 16, Garth Stewart. For Mount Pleasant, it's Chambers in goal this evening. Number 1, 12, K. Bailey. Number 7, Devante Campbell. Number 24, Franco Celesti. Number 25, Raheem Edwards. Number 2, Gadail Irving. Number 23, Miguel Joseph. Back in the starting lineup, second start here. Number 14, Captain Sule McCullough. Number 15, Kyle Ming. Number 19, Nicholas Nelson. And number 42, Jamai Topi. So shuffling the deck here, the coaching staff from Mount Pleasant, just giving some of the players who would not have featured regularly in the starting team, some returning from injury, etc. And Topi being one. Ming again being employed in the centre back spot here, and this time he's partnering Topi, as we see ball now played upfield by the man Franco Celestine. So just early in the piece here, Mount Pleasant coming to this game 72 points, still 2 games in hand, and the likes of Harbour View languishing at the close to the foot of the table. Mini revival, so to speak, which included their 1-0 win over Mount Pleasant, but they come into this game with 32 points, just 3 points ahead of 13th place Malines. So Harbour View in 11th place, Mount Pleasant way out in front with 72 points and seeking to keep their unbeaten run at Drax Hall intact. So Trevon Reed here getting ready to, as this ball is swung inside, headed out by Mount Pleasant. Edwards, the man now, will play this one upfield as we approach just the second minute of play here, and early pickings. Referee Mason in the middle for this encounter as Harbour View now try to get out to Reed, but dispossessed, and now ball played across to Irving, who being employed as a right full back. Saw that in the last game away, and still, as now this ball is played to Joseph, who played it inside. So saw it in the Veer game where Bailey was asked to play the left full back and Gadail Irving the right, as that one is booted high. Early action as the Mount Pleasant flags flutter in the wind, just giving an indication of how the conditions here are. But that will make it a little cooler for the players out there on the pitch. Had some rain earlier, light rain in St. Anne, but nothing to cause this game not to be played. Early morning looks as if it would be a muddy encounter, but weather has fared well here. And free kick now. Referee indicates free kick as Harbour View will take this free kick. Just now he says to go back. So it's about 33 yards out, as Reed seems to be the man who has been tasked to deal with the dead ball situation. So he is standing over this one now. Trayvon Reed chips this one poor, but comes as far as to Luca Kang, who takes a shot, drags it wide. Harbour View players were asking for a corner kick, but no, as Topi now will start. So Chambers in goal. A rare start for him here after Davis would have smashed the clean sheet record, and with his 18th clean sheet in the game versus Veer, Chambers would want to preserve that record as well, that clean sheet of his own. So we see, looks to be McCullough going down, yes, and that challenge here as King now. Ming starts the action. McCullough back to Ming. Ming will come inside to Chambers. Chambers, who was at Harbour View early in his career, as this one goes over the top, headed out by Stewart, and can't get to that, the man Parchment. So here is ball now with Joseph McCullough. So the youngster from the academy has cemented himself thus far. Looked the part, been in and around, starting against Veer, came on in the game against Tivoli, and now he scored in his first start against Veer and has now been rewarded with another start. So good confidence shown by the coaching staff. So we have two Asians on the pitch. Celestine on the ball now, and Joseph, who is in the middle of the field, number 23, and Dyer getting a rest. Has been a fixture on the team. Normally rotation would not include Dyer, but getting a rest today. So Topi and Ming are the centre backs. The right full back would be Gadail Irving, has been inverted. Over on the left side, Kivone Bailey. No Daniel Green in the midfield today as well. So that's a rotation taking place as this one comes high. Chambers was hindered by the sun, but on the second attempt managed to get the ball. Here's Campbell now. Wants to turn inside, still Campbell on the ball. Campbell, fleet-footed Campbell, and now the call will come from Mason as Campbell just weaving his way through. So two strikers being employed today. as Ming tries to keep it in play but won't do so. Poor pass. And Nelson and Edwards being employed up front. The wingers being Campbell and Franco Celestine. So 4-4-2 looks to be the lineup today from the coaching staff. And again, just mixing up the thing, making sure that the team is dynamic, being able to play different systems, adjusting to different opponents. And one of the best coaching staff you will find in the league. So Tapper Whitmore, Davian Ferguson and company just trying some other stuff as we prepare the restart here. So Mount Pleasant have already secured a spot in the playoffs, and the intent is to cement this first place spot so that they will avoid the quarterfinal round. You get a bye straight into the semifinals once you are in the top two at the end of the third round. And Mount Pleasant, in case it's your first time on the channel, they are the team in blue, kicking from right to left, and Harbour View out of Kingston, the east of Kingston, close to the airport, Norman Manley International. They are the visitors here as Campbell now comes inside to Nick Nelson, who comes back to Campbell. Campbell wants to line up a shot, but he's been hounded all the time by Harbour View. Now it comes as far as to Celestine, but the block and another shot, but charged down again by Harbour View. So just getting the crowd into it now as Bailey now does well to win back the ball. Still Bailey now cuts inside, gets by two. What can happen now? Cuts inside, but just over the top there by Campbell. Needed to cover the ball. So just early going here as we're in the 13th minute of play, and Devante Campbell knows he should have done better there, and intentions being made clear by the Mount Pleasant aggregation as the fans are brought into the picture here. And Bennett now will go long. Headed out by Mount Pleasant. Knocked across, comes inside now to, looks to be Reed. Reed now trying to make a run. Still being hounded all the time by the man Celestine, and the referee says free kick. Illegally so, you were hounding the player, and just a free kick now here. So just a little excitement, the Mount Pleasant team showing some intent, and Harbour View passing the first test there as this one is booted long upfield, and Edwards asks to chase but goes outside as it comes inside now. And here is Harbour View cut out by Nelson, who comes to Joseph. Joseph now with a good ball across to Campbell. Campbell now cuts and just wide of the target. Saw the intention there, couldn't fault him for that attempt. Just wide of the target, wanted to curl it in the top corner. And Mount Pleasant look up for it today. As we said before, they lost 1-0 to Harbour View in their last meeting in Kingston, and I'm sure that's on the mind of the Mount Pleasant aggregation, and intent clear here that Harbour View will have a lot of defending to do as Mount Pleasant try to up the ante and just return the favor. Dundee Olden would have felt the wrath of this team after beating them in the first encounter, and Mount Pleasant certainly wants to assert themselves on their less fancied opponents based on the positions in the table. Harbour View, of course, 5-time Premier League champion. Mount Pleasant new to the piece, just been here since 2018 already, with one championship, 2 finals, and trying to etch themselves in the history books with another championship this season. Here is a ball now across to Joseph. Joseph takes it forward. See Joseph now plays this across for Devante Campbell. Campbell now can take on. The man cuts inside. No, he wants to shoot! Bennett has to parry it away. Another shot, but goes wide by Joseph. And now the flag goes up for half side. And I tell you something, Devante Campbell must have had at least 10 touches inside the Harbour View box since this game began. 10 is an exaggeration, but really busy today. Force a shot now, getting closer and closer. The first one went over the bar. The next one went around the upright. The next one forced a save out of Bennett. Let's see where the other one will go. So exciting stuff so far as we are in the 18th minute here. Ball comes across, looks to be with Fagan. Fagan gets it across the parchment, but poor attempt at a cross there. And that one will just go over the bar. And Chambers, the man in goal to restart the game with a free kick. So 0-0 the score here. No goals yet, but on chances Mount Pleasant have been forcing the issue with really one shot on target. 3 attempts on goal, but 1 on target thus far. And ball now played down. Brown, the man, knocked that across, but Irving will take control. Comes inside to Bailey. Nicholas Nelson now. Here is Nelson on the ball. Nelson plays it across to Campbell again. Campbell now will roll this across for. Can he get across inside? No. And he comes again, Campbell, and won't get by the defender this time. And they clear their lines, trying to get Fagan in on the action, but mapped up again by the Mount Pleasant defense. So it's been all Mount Pleasant. Harbour View haven't managed to get things going because of the intensity of the defending, as Bailey now gets this across to Campbell. Campbell back inside to Bailey. Bailey now with the cross. Comes as far as the Celestine, but the first touch let him down there. Needed a better first touch in order to get a shot on goal, as Irving now comes inside, rolls it, but blocked again. Here is Joseph. Wants the shot, but charged down. The crowd wants a penalty, but referee says no, as Harbour View now will come forward. Good ball now across to Reed. Reed wants to control, looks to Ming. Reed wants to line up for the shot, but defending there, gets the shot off. But Chambers will take care of that after deflecting from the defender. And his teammate was just saying, you could have come to me. Green, the man there, was saying you could have just come wide. And has some treatment now to be given to Joseph, who went down in the scrap there. So first really intent shown, or opportunity given to Harbour View, as Reed lined up the shot but scuffed in the end as the defenders stood firm and resolute. So still 0-0 amidst all of the happenings here. Still 0-0 as we see the players taking the chance for a water break and want to restart now with Chambers. So we have it 21 minutes unofficially. 0-0 the score, as Irving now plays this one vertically, but to no one in particular, and throwing the verdict. So first place, Mount Pleasant, playing 11th place, Harbour View. Last time they met, Harbour View were deeper down in the table, needed a win, and got a 1-0 win over your team in blues, as this ball comes now to Bailey. And does the referee make the call? Belatedly, he makes a call, and okay, just stopping the game, not making the call really, just stop the game to deal with some administrative stuff. So we are back with the action here. 22 minutes gone, 0-0 the scoreline. Mount Pleasant FA versus Harbour View. First versus 11th. 72 points. And 32 points here is. So if you are doing the maths, it's a 40-point gap between the two teams at this stage of the competition. So that tells you just how the progress has been for your team in blue, as they will now take this throw in. Irving inside. Edwards turns, wants to shoot, but off balance there and couldn't get the correct connection, as Bennett now will look to restart play. So 0-0 the score. Mount Pleasant versus Harbour View. Remember to like, to subscribe, to share, so that others can see when the channel is active. Share this game. Get good content as Reed now cuts inside down the byline. Reed puts that cross, but straight into the side netting. Initially looks as if he was trying to knock it into the far corner, but ran out of real estate. Defenders stayed on their feet and just ushered him out, so to speak, as Ming now will come inside to Chambers. So man management being employed, players given a rest. Some have knocks, some card suspensions. So just showing the versatility, the dynamism in the team, as Joseph is pushed to the turf here by Colorado Murray. And ball now played up the coaching staff for Harbour View, of course, Donald Stewart, as Campbell now, heavy first touch, comes now to Rowan Brown. Brown now wants to get by Bailey, but Bailey giving close attention and wins the ball in the end. But Colorado Murray does well, but only as far as to Topi. Topi now to Bailey. Bailey will play this inside for Devante Campbell to run. The Harbour View Parchment now wins the ball. Murray now, still Murray, not moving, but there Campbell now hustling as Murray now takes it in the chest and will play it across to Harding. Goes further left, looks to be Kang, but here is Reed now falling to the turf, but managed to keep control of the ball. Still being hounded by Celestine, and now he plays this one inside, trying to get Fagan going, but cut out by Irving. Comes now to Joseph. Joseph moving up the flank, puts this one across again to Devante Campbell. Campbell now 1v1 with Parchment. Campbell plays it inside, comes as far as to Joseph. Joseph back to Campbell. Campbell will look and go to McCullough, who plays this one across. Irving now to Celestine. Celestine feints to cross, trips it inside, but no connection there from Campbell. Couldn't get there in the end, and just peters out for a throw, for a goal kick. So 0-0 the score here. 25 minutes unofficially gone, as the fans still trickling in at Drax Hall. Nice breezy evening here in St. Anne, and it's a fortress here for this Mount Pleasant team, who are unbeaten at home, as Joseph now tried to flick that one over there. Here comes Nicholas Nelson now. Nelson now inside, lines up a shot, but wide off the upright. And Nelson, as you know, as an eye for goals, gets the start today, and it's not really easy to get him off the score sheet. His first real attempt today, heavily strapped up with tape on the knees, at the back of the thighs. So lots of miles in the legs but always a striker keen on goal, and you wouldn't want to give him too many chances because he can make you pay. As the ball now inside comes as far as to Edwards. Campbell Celestine pays it across, and just blocked there by Parchment. Good work by the defender. Campbell did as much as he could. That one was headed for goal. Bennett maybe would have had it covered, but the defender was covering well and managed to scuff that out as the action continues. Again, Devante Campbell making himself a menace here. Parchment goes to the turf, and free kick the verdict. Coaching staff just asking Mason if there could be something else like a yellow colored object, but here comes the free kick, left side, to be taken by, looks to be Kivoni Bailey. Does so now, plays it inside, but booted out by Harbour View. Comes back to Nelson, who comes as far as to Bailey, and the cross won't give any challenges there for Bennett in goal. And Nicholas Denson again saw Bennett out of his goal, but not on target. And we start the action here as we approach half an hour in the contest. 0-0 the score. Mount Pleasant in blue versus Harbour View in white, as Garth Stewart takes over, comes to Harding, plays it outside, trying to get Reed going, but Reed fouled there. And of course, Reed, one of their attacking options, but has been forced to come deep to collect, and as such, attacks being stifled as the free kick all the way over to the touchline. Just a spattering of fans in that one of the main stands here at Drax Hall, as Harding now plays this one inside, but cut out again by Mount Pleasant. So midfield has done well, as Harbour View has found it hard to penetrate with anything at all, really, as we get a shot off the stands there, and the faithful who are out in their numbers early, as we see Franco Celestine now with a run inside, but cut out again by Harbour View. Green plays it inside to Kang, but cut out by Ming, and Edwards won't get there. So free kick, goal kick now to Harbour View. Here comes Garth Stewart looking for some options. Chips this one over the top, can't get to the intended target, as Topi now comes to Bailey. Bailey now will come back inside to McCullough, to Ming. Ming now to Irving. Irving back to Ming. Ming chips it over the top to Celestine. Celestine dispossessed, and Harbour View now will take control. Here is Murray, plays it inside to Trevon Reed. Reed gets by one, chips it across. Is that a corner? Yes. So it's the first corner kick for Harbour View, and we're in the 31st minute of play. Trevon Reed with some good work down the left hand side, couldn't get it across, and the Mount Pleasant defense conceding the corner there. First corner being conceded for the game. Haven't seen a corner yet for the Mount Pleasant, so the first corner of the match really in the 31st minute, as Reed, again the man with the dead ball duties, wants to take this one, chips it inside, can't beat the first post. Will it be another corner? Yes. So not a particularly good corner, but defenders did what they had to do. So they're just asking Topi, Garth Stewart being the tallest, Topi maybe an inch shorter, but out by far the two tallest men on the pitch, matching up now, as shot corner taken, can't get the cross in. Still Mount Pleasant thwart the attack there as Green chips it inside. Comes to Fagan! But can't get it past Ming there. And the high boot there. So Fagan with a very good opportunity to even force a save out of the man Chambers. But Ming was alert to the danger. And Harbour View will have to see that as a chance. And good defending again from Mount Pleasant to keep the score at 0-0. Kyle Ming, the man there, just staying with his player as we go the next side. But Luca Kang now will control in the middle for Harbour View. So just a little period of play for them. This looks to be offside as Fagan still misses. But clear offside there. So Harbour View just showing some glimpses, some intent. Good opportunity there as Bailey now knocks this one long up the field. Comes as far as the Stewart inside. Looks to Kang again. Kang now in the midfield, just trying to assert himself. Does well to get by two players. Luca Kang now he plays this across for the run of Colorado Murray, but Murray can't get there. Meanwhile, Mount Pleasant continue through the midfield to Gadail Irving, who plays this one upfield, comes across to Stewart. Now Devontae Campbell can make a run inside. It's 1v1 mismatch here, but he will come back to, looks to be Joseph. Joseph does well to control, asking for the free kick there. Joseph off the deflection comes to Harding, and Harding goes back to Bennett. So it's becoming to end now as Harbour View have just grown into the game. Harding, the man, now pushed off the ball there, and referee obliges and gives the free kick to Mount Pleasant. Lawrence, the man there over on the left hand side for Harbour View, just bundled off the ball by Celestine, and nil-nil is score. Free kick to Harbour View over on the far side, and coming closer and closer to the halfway line. So we restart play now. Lawrence back to Reed. Reed chips it inside, can't get Murray. Reed again. Obviously the talisman here, Brown takes over, gets it to Lawrence. Still Lawrence. Now Reed, back to Lawrence. Reed turns between two players and throw the verdict here. So Young Green and Lawrence, Reed just trying over on that left hand side, but not getting much purchase out of Mount Pleasant team, and slapping the back there. So Murray wins a free kick for his team as Harding now gets the play going, and Green now chips this across, but nothing doing there. And man, Brown just remonstrating as Chambers now play this one upfield, trying to spot the run of Campbell, and played out by Parchment. Here is Nicholas Nelson, plays it inside to Joseph. Joseph wants to go across, gets it to Irving. Here's Irving now, plays it across for Franco Celestine. Celestine now on the ball, two players to be, comes as far as to Irving! And that's the first goal of the piece. Knocked it past goalkeeper Bennett, couldn't see it through the crowd. And just like that, it's 1-0. Gadail Irving in the 34th minute slapped it past goalkeeper Bennett at the front post. As we see it here on the replay, Celestine, two players attending to him, allowed the space for Irving. Irving with the first touch and just passed it into the back of the net there. And Bennett, before he could react, was seeing the ball in the back of the net. And 1-0 the score here at Drax Hall. Gadail Irving, the scorer, in the 34th minute of play. And it's Mount Pleasant 1, Harbour View 0. So Harbour View already behind the 8 ball, so to speak. Parchment Topi, not a good header, but recovers through his teammates. Here is Edwards now off the chest, trying to get Nelson going. Nelson now on the ball, will play it across for the run of Campbell. Is he onside? No. So offside there. And wanting more, Mount Pleasant team always wants more. Scored the most goals in the league thus far. So 1-0 here, the score. In case you're just joining us, Mount Pleasant leading by a goal to nil over Harbour View. Gadail Irving just getting the goal in the 34th minute to give the hosts a 1-0 lead here as we see this ball now played upfield to Harding. And Wilson under the pressure and concedes the throw as Edwards now will throw it inside to Nelson. Back to McCullough. McCullough now comes across to Bailey. Bailey further wide to Campbell. Campbell inside to Joseph. Here's Joseph now just trying to find a pass, but poor execution, but manages to recover. Now it comes back to Topi. Topi chips it over the top, trying to get the run of Nelson, but can't connect with him there as Bennett wants to get the game going. So here is ball booted upfield by goalkeeper Bennett, played out by Bailey. Luca Kang now plays it across to Brown. Brown with Bailey to beat, comes inside to Colorado Murray. Here is Murray, but deflection there, and another corner kick to Harbour View. So just about 24 yards out, tried his luck, but deflection as we await this corner kick from Reed, who comes short, and Kang now the man turns inside. Green rather plays it to Bennett, to Reed, and Reed can't get it past Mount Pleasant defense, so it's another corner kick. So 1-0 here, Mount Pleasant lead. 39 minutes gone unofficially. Corner here for Harbour View. So Trevor Reed, the man who will go now, plays it inside, and that was a free header. Colorado Murray just past the upright there, and chance missed there, opportunity missed. Again Murray the man, and here comes Nel, and played out by Bennett. Nelson was giving chase, and throwing now. Not rushing Mount Pleasant by any means, just 40 minutes, 5 minutes to the half, and they're leading by a goal to nil. Irving plays this one inside. Stewart now will just boot this one long upfield. Anyway, will do, and restart the action with McCullough on the ball. Two balls seem to be on the pitch, but referee is still playing here as comes inside now with McCullough. McCullough across to Joseph. Now Daly just making himself available on the ball now. Plays it now forward to Devante Campbell. Here is Campbell on the ball. Campbell back inside to Joseph. Joseph now flat spot comes across to McCullough, who will go to Ming. Ming will come to Topi. Topi controls and looks left. Plays it inside to Bailey. Bailey now with a ball searching. Comes as far as to Nelson, but bundled off the ball there. And free kick. Harbour View will get a free kick here with 41 minutes gone. So not much stoppages. Well, we had a stoppage early in the piece for Joseph, so maybe about 4 minutes to be added as we approach the halftime interval here. And here comes Chambers to ready the goal kick. So no Shaquan Davis today, no Dyer today, no Daniel Green, as this ball now played long up the field, headed by Parchment. Here is Rowan Brown inside to Fagan. Fagan back to Kang. Kang now wants to shoot, but that's way wide. And deflection again. So took a deflection there, but it was a team effort by Kang, but got a corner kick out of it. So Harbour View racking up the corners here. By our count, this is the 4th corner, as they trail by a goal to nil. Harbour View heading into the halftime break. Just about 3 minutes plus stoppages to go as it's headed inside. And Harbour View have been winning the headers. Brown this time. Was that Brown? They have been winning the headers. And coaching staff just saying to the goalkeeper, you should have come there. Rowan Brown just saw one with Colorado Murray. Brown now winning the header there, but not getting it on target. And Mount Pleasant will have to look at that as Green clips Nelson right at the touch line. And referee Mason just ask him to cut it out. Man there, Dominic Green. So Topi. Bailey. Back to Topi. Over the top, cut out by Parchment. Just joining us, it's 1-0 as you see on the screen in favor of Mount Pleasant. Goal scored in the 34th minute by Gadail Irving as Edwards now plays this one across, headed out by Harbour View. Comes as far as to Reed. Reed over on the far side. As we approach halftime, Celestine now does well to dispossess Reed. Reed standing as a statue as this one now played inside to Celestine, comes across, but maybe should have opted for the cross instead of the shot there, seeing that Bennett was properly positioned as his front post this time. And so probably poor decision from the youngster as Topi intervenes and handball. So we have 45 minutes, 44. Well, we have 45 minutes on our clock. So in stoppage time now, as far as our unofficial time says, not seeing the signal from the referee as yet, as the ball is with Ming. Comes across to Topi, back to Ming. Here is Irving. Comes outside to Celestine, does well to get by the man bone and the tackle there. Did he get the player? Lawrence, the man there, lunging challenge. And looks as if he could have earned a card, but nothing from Mason. Lunging challenge there from the man Lawrence. But Mason holds the cards in his pocket as a goal scorer here. Irving now wants to take this free kick. And the fans in anticipation just shouting goal as Irving now chips this one across, headed out by Murray. And corner kick here as referee just checks his watch. We have been checking our watches and wondering what time this half would end, as we are 2 minutes into stoppage time now, as Irving again will take this. Free kick here is the ball chipped over, headed out by Harbour View, and see the Mount Pleasant mascot over on the far side as ball played out, and referee awards a free kick to Harbour View. So stoppage time here in the first half, and we await the Bennett now just boots this one outside and throwing. So 1-0 the score here. Drax Hall, Mount Pleasant in blue, leading by a goal to nil. Mount Pleasant won't get to throw it in because, as indicated earlier, we are at half time. 34th minute strike by Gadail Irving gives the team from St. Anna 1-0 lead as we head into the break here at Drax Hall. So ball now inside to Celestine. Comes across to cut out now and comes to Kang as we welcome you back to second half action. Just started and he pulled back there, Kang, but stood his ground as Colorado Moreno plays this one. So second half action here, just with the news that Mount Pleasant lead by a goal to nil, having scored in the 34th minute of the game through Gadail Irving, as we see the man Brown trying to maneuver his way through but can't get past the man Bailey, who plays this one now inside to Joseph. Back return pass there, and Joseph now, the young Asian midfielder from the academy, comes to Edwards, but Edwards with a poor pass, and Kang goes all the way back to Stewart. Stewart now lining up to boot this one long upfield. Comes as far as to Murray, who goes down on that challenge. Nothing, says the referee, so McCullough will play this one to Campbell. Campbell now can't pass Parchment this time and comes inside to Brown. Comes back to Green. Plays this one inside now to Colorado Murray. Murray comes wide, trying to get Reed going, but cut out by Irving. So just Harbour View settling better here in the second half, as we just first 4 minutes here of the piece, and come forward again through Murray. Plays this one across, cut out by Joseph. Comes to McCullough. McCullough now to Campbell. Campbell will turn. Still Campbell. Now he's fouled. And free kick here. So 50 minutes, 5 minutes gone here in the second half, and Edwards now will cut inside and wants to shoot, but just wide there. Nothing to trouble Bennett at the minute. Did concede a goal at the first post in the 34th minute, as some colorful language here being used by some of the spectators as this one runs all the way through, but Ming won't allow Reed to get the ball there, and offside against Edwards. So 51 minutes gone. 1-0 the score here. Mount Pleasant lead by a goal to nil. By the live table, they'll be heading to 75 points, and to just stretch their lead at the top of the standings, Harbour View would remain in 11th place with 32 points just by the live table, as ball now played down the left hand side for the man Nelson. Nelson looks inside, comes to Campbell, takes it on the chest, now puts it on the turf. Campbell being hounded and dispossessed by Murray. Murray now boots this one upfield, trying to get the run off Reed, but just headed back by Irving. And comes across now to Topi. So no changes at half time. Same starting team as Joseph just off the, and off the up right there. Wow! Joseph's made the pass. It came back off the defender, but headed off the crossbar by Edwards. And the first real opportunity of the second half goes a begging. Really came against the run of play based on the second half. And out of nowhere, could have been 2-0. And now, that one poor by Lawrence. And okay, there, so the team on the field: T. Chambers, Bailey, Campbell, Celestine, Edwards, Irving, Joseph, McCullough, Ming, Nelson, Topi for Mount Pleasant, and for Harbour View: Bennett, Brown, Fagan, Green, Harding, King, Kong, Lawrence, Murray, Parchment, Reed, and Garth Stewart. Those are the teams, unchanged from the first half, and the score also unchanged from the first half, with Mount Pleasant leading by a goal to nil, courtesy of a Gadail Irving strike in the 34th minute. Harbour View have come close on a couple of occasions, but still haven't bulged the net, as Kang now takes over, comes to Reed. Reed plays it upfield to Murray, and this could be a yellow card to Gadail Irving for upending the man Reed. And first yellow card of the game, that goes to the man Gadail Irving for upending Trevon Reed. So score the goal is all over the referee's documents for the goal and for the caution, and Brown will head this one back inside. Chambers will collect and restart play with a quick free kick, but cut out again by Harbour View. Parchment, the man. Now Lawrence wants to chip it inside. Ming pushes him off the chest. Fagan hasn't been getting any change out of Ming, but wins a free kick right on the edge of the box here. So Harbour View could consider this a good opportunity to get back on level peggings here. Dangerous position, and they have good exponents of the dead ball. Murray being one, Trevon Reed, the designated dead ball specialist, also being one. And they really would want to get themselves back in, as they are trailing by a goal to nil here at Drax Hall. So 55 minutes on the clock. Reed, and that more resembles a NFL type kick. The referee would hold their two hands up, but these referees aren't wearing black and white stripes. So poor effort there, and want to do better, knowing that you are behind the 8 ball here, as Topina will play this one across. Never controlled properly there by Celestine, but still doing well to keep possession. Devante Campbell the man, but Kang now will take over for Harbour View. Still Kang comes back to Parchment. Parchment with some time plays it inside, trying to spot the runner. Fagan headed out by Topi. Bailey wants to clear, comes off the arm of Murray, but the referee says it's a throw into Harbour View. So 11 minutes gone here in the second half. Mount Pleasant still lead by a goal to nil, and heading further away at the top of the table. Live table would give them 75 points. Harbour View all the way in 11th place on 32 points. Really needing the points, but Mount Pleasant not in the giving mood today. Here is Irving, the goal scorer. Can't get it by Reed. And continue the action here with a throw inside by Mount Pleasant, comes all the way back to Irving. Irving goes outside to Celestine. Celestine back to Irving. Irving now inside. Tries to find the man Joseph. Now dispossessed here as we go forward and asking for the free kick. Referee says nothing. And Bennett now with the ball in hand. Wondering if he's waiting for the referee to award the free kick, and now he plays it out because the player still on the turf here. And so Mr. Mason just coming under some scrutiny, but the action continues here. So Mount Pleasant should be throwing this one back to Harbour View, but let's see how the events unfold. They do so now. Parchment receives and plays it back out for a throw. Bailey recycles as Topi now inside to the man Bailey. Bailey comes across to Irving. Irving further wide to Campbell. Campbell now not sure, just pass it to the space. Nelson couldn't get there, and Fagan now fouls Ming, and referee sees that as well, as we are on the hour mark here. Just about 30 minutes left in this fixture, plus any stoppages, and Mount Pleasant lead by a goal to nil. Here is Edwards now going down the left hand side. Edwards, who got on the score sheet in the last game versus Veer, as Kang now does well to dispossess Nelson right on the edge of the box. Here comes Brown, does well, cuts inside, trying to play this one now for the run of Murray, but cut out again. Ming. Fagan can't connect. Here comes Nicholas Nelson now inside to Edwards, comes to Celestine, plays it one across here. It's Edwards now to shoot, but blocked there by Harding. Comes right side to Devontae Campbell. Here is Campbell now being attended to by Harding all the time. Here is Campbell, plays it across to Celestine, cuts inside. Can he shoot? But too much under it. Too much under it, and over the top there, man Franco Celestine has ball booted upfield, headed back by Ming, and now cleared. Comes as far as to Lawrence. Lawrence to Luca Kang. Here is Kang. Reed. Reed dispossessed, but still with Harbour View through Reed. Looked to be a handball there, but here is Reed. Still Reed, but no, he's dispossessed, and the referee gives a foul there. Didn't see much in that, as Reed was just standing as a soldier, but ball comes forward now, and it's with the man inside to Nelson. Yes, it's 2-0, and just like that, they were waiting on the free kick. It came to him. We told you about him earlier. Don't give him too many chances. And he was looking in the face of Bennett, who had to look in the back of the net. Ball came across there by Edwards and just tucked away. Bennett on his knees, not sure what he was praying for, but that prayer was not answered. As Mount Pleasant made it 2-0 here in the 62nd minute of play. Goal scorer Nicholas Nelson. So just putting some daylight between them and their opponents from Harbour View here. It's Mount Pleasant 2, Harbour View 0. Nicholas Nelson unofficially in the 61st minute of play, as Kang now comes for Harbour View, pushing up the line. Still Kang, but comes across to Fagan. Fagan dispossessed. Kang wants to do the cheeky stuff there, but didn't work. And Mount Pleasant now just giving themselves a buffer through Nicholas Nelson and that goal to even up the piece in terms of goals in each half, as Joseph now has been impressive, calm, collected, hasn't put a foot wrong really, done well in all the games that he has featured thus far. And just 17 years old, Haitian international. And as this one now comes back to Topi, inside to Makala, comes all the way to Edwards. Edwards outside to Celestine, back to Edwards. Edwards now down the flank. We'll see the run of Nelson, but cut out here. Here Campbell comes off the back of the defender. Campbell again. Bennett now will push it back, but Nicholas Nelson will make it 3-0. Yes, it was coming. Devante Campbell has been making himself a menace. The save came from Bennett. No defender in tow. As we start the replay with the build-up here, Edwards, the man, does well, gets down the line, cuts it inside. Behind the defenders, Devante Campbell makes the run, takes the shot now, blocked initially by Harding. Second attempt, saved by Bennett, but quickest to react is the man, Nicholas Nelson, and Bennett can't be faulted for effort. 3-0 the score here, as the former Harbour View man, Joshua Anglin, will enter the fray here, replacing Gadail Irving. So Anglin would have left from Harbour View to Mount Pleasant, was red carded in the reverse fixture, and is now in the middle of the pitch here, just to shore up things, as Mount Pleasant lead by 3-0 with 65 minutes gone on the clock. And we see the man Tevin Shaw also coming into the piece. So Joseph's out for Shaw and Irving out for Anglin, which means that Sule Makala will go to the right fullback position, as this one now knocked inside, comes to Nelson, comes back to Anglin. Maybe should not have been so kind there, as he comes across now to Devante Campbell, who, although he hasn't scored, really deserves a goal in this match, has done most of the legwork, as he goes on the right hand side now, plays this one across, but just goes by everyone. And as you hear from the crowd, they want more here, not satisfied with just 3. And free kick, the verdict, Fagan down as a substitution to be made here for Harbour View. Number 3 coming on, that is Jones, and coming out looks to be T. Lawrence. So substitution for Harbour View, as we get a shot of the some of the academy players, some of the fans in the pavilion there, and just the dressing room areas as Mount Pleasant now comfortable in charge here. And 3-0 the lead. Nicholas Nelson at the double. 2 goals in 2 minutes really to just completely turn the tide. Harbour View did start the second half well, but the stuffing just knocked the stuffing out of them with those 2 goals as Edwards makes the run here, comes inside to Anglin to Makala back to Shaw. Shaw will come across to Bailey. Celestine back to Bailey. And Topi just comes now inside to Bailey. Bailey across to Celestine. Celestine cuts back to Anglin. Now surveys, comes back to Shaw. Shaw to McCullough. Just managing things here as ball is with Topi. Topi will come all the way to Celestine on left side, who comes to Bailey. Bailey now pushes it inside, still Bailey turns and comes back. So just keeping possession here. Mount Pleasant has he knocked it inside but couldn't get the right connection. Pull back there. Fager just pulling back the man. Anglin referee allows it to go. Here is Campbell again, shimmying and turning, making himself a menace. Still Campbell, and can't get the shot off. And this one just wide there looks to be Tevin Shaw. Again, hasn't scored, but has certainly been a menace here for this Harbour View team. Number 10 now is going to come on. That is Akwasa Chang. Fagan out. Number 7, Timar Lewis, is also going to come on. And looks to be, is it Reed, the man that is coming out? Trayvon Reed. So just freshen up the attack here. All good attacking options, but misfiring here, the Stars of the East, and certainly not shining at Mount Pleasant today. These Stars. Here comes Lewis, his first involvement to Kang, back to Parchment. Parchment now will come over the top, back to Lewis. Lewis now to Santurn still. Lewis going up the left hand side, being hounded all the time by McCullough. Wins the ball there and plays it inside to Nelson. Anglin now will go all the way across to Celestine. So the two wingers really have been busy, did well. Here comes Celestine now coming down to the middle, and now he wants to shoot and calling for the handball here. Referee says no, and we continue the action here. Sure that Nelson would have been relishing the opportunity for a hat-trick here, but referee says nothing as it comes now to Ming. Ming inside to Shaw. Shaw comes to Anglin. Anglin will play this one across to Campbell. Here's Campbell. Still Campbell. Goes back to McCullough, who comes inside to Topi. Topi now all the way across to Celestine, who will play for the run of Bailey, who leaves it for Celestine. Celestine now comes inside. Nelson trying to get through and won't get that. Soft there. Jones just brings out the ball now for Harbour View. And some of the regular starters are just coming in as Akwasa Chang now will try to play this one forward. Chang himself, former Mount Pleasant player. Harbour View came over to Mount Pleasant, back to Harbour View. Here is Devante Campbell inside to Nelson, the man with the brace. Angling now across to Edwards. So Edwards, staff persevering with him, just maybe trying to build his confidence as Celestine now makes a run down the right hand side, chopped down again, but referee says nothing, says he got all ball there. So not in the penalty giving mood today, Mason, And to be fair, there have been marginal calls, not anything stonewall thus far, as Lewis now controls up the left hand side. Lewis plays it inside to Kang. Kang wants to come to Colorado Murray. Murray turns but bundled off the ball, just sandwich out of it there, and then in the end goes down on the turf. And free kick to Harbour View just midway the half here. And we await this free kick now from Akwasa Chang. So here is Lewis rather is the man, and over the top. So 72 minutes gone here, and the substitution to be made. Devante Campbell.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it looks to be so Campbell off. Daniel Green to come on. And Celestine is also coming out. And Smith coming in. Shamor Smith. So no reprieve really for Harbour View here, as the hometown man Daniel Green will make his way onto the pitch here. Daniel Green played for Harbour View 2 seasons, came back home to Mount Pleasant here as Shamor Smith, the man from Montego Bay. So here is Shaw. So 3-0 the scoreline here. Really a matter of consolidation for Harbour View. They have shown their intent by bringing in some fresh attacking players, but on the record of Mount Pleasant defensively, hard to see them conceding 3 goals in the last 15 minutes here, as Edwards now goes forward. Still Edwards pushing forward, trying to get himself on the score sheet. The crowd once more as he chips this one across to Nelson, who is on a hat-trick. Here is Daniel Green with his first involvement of the game. Comes inside to Bailey, and good save there. Excellent save there. Bailey with the right boot. And Bennett had to find the save, or he would be taking the ball out of the net for the 4th time this afternoon. As Mount Pleasant relentless here. It's a rush off blue. As ball now played inside. Poor corner kick there. Cut out, but only as far as to Anglin. Anglin now tries to roll the defender, but still in possession here. Comes back to Green. Green now. Anticipation when he receives the ball. Comes back to Anglin. Anglin now will go over, chips it inside, headed out by Harbour View. Lewis can't control, but does well to keep the ball in front of him. Topi won't win it from him, and Kang now will just boot this one upfield. Headed out by Shaw, but there was a foul on Smith, which referee spots. And Nelson, actually the man there who was fouled, coming all the way back to defend after. So more changes here. Number 11 coming in for Harbour View. Coming out is Ron Brown. And on for Harbour View is Omar Thompson. And also coming out, number 29 is coming in. And coming out is the man Green, D. Green. So Harbour View showing their hand. All changes made. Mount Pleasant the same. So these players on the pitch will finish the game once, barring any injury, as Smith now inside. Still Smith on the ball here. Smith can't get it past Murray Smith, and just works. Harbour View now with Parchment. Heads out there. Comes to Green. Green now will play this one for the run of Nelson. Can he get there? No. Showed some effort, but too much on it in the end from Green as we approach the 88th minute here. Ball now with Harbour View through the substitute Thompson. Hardy. Chips this one forward. Murray does well, but now Lewis dispossesses. Shaw. Here is Timar Lewis now. And with the right boot, really a left footer, so not much expected there. And as the spectator says in the background there, that just the Jamaican way to say they have returned the favor for that 1-0 loss at Harbour View. And McCullough now will come across. Shaw the man down there and just pulled back to his feet by the referee and Murray as we try to return to play. And now we do so through Shaw inside back to Bailey. Comes as far as to Green. Green now down the right hand side, still Green. And can't get by two players there as he's dispossessed. And now comes to Kang. Kang under some pressure. Does well to get by two players. And Shaw just leaves the body there. And free kick given. So 78 minutes gone here in the piece. Unofficially 12 minutes left in the encounter as we see this one comes as far. So just some player down. Referee wants to attend to that as lots of ball comes now with Jones. Jones will boot this one inside the box and comes to Parchment. Parchment back to Timar Lewis. Lewis inside. Chang goes down, wanted something from the referee which wasn't being given. And 3-0 the score here. Mount Pleasant lead by 3 goals to 0. Goal scored in the 34th minute by Gadail Irving. In the 61st and 63rd minutes by Nicholas Nelson to give 3-0 lead to the host here and the league leaders, who will go to 75 points after this result. Harbour View came here with 32, will leave with 32, not getting anything out of this as Mount Pleasant now just moving the ball around. Comes to Ming to McCullough to Smith inside, but cut out there by Thompson. Comes back now to Harbour View through Kang. Can't get it forward here. And Chang now will put some pressure on Tevin Shaw. And referee gives the free kick to Harbour View. And just about 10 minutes by our watch left in this game. And 29 looks to be Alvinus Myers, former Portmore United man, as number 20 now comes on. Youngster Howell comes on to replace Edwards, so that's change number 5 for Mount Pleasant as Timar Lewis now chips this one straight into the arms of Chambers, and no problems there. So final substitution just made. Howell coming in, the youngster from the academy as well, to replace Raheem Edwards, and to see out the last 10 minutes or so of this encounter. Here is free kick, should be awarded here. Colorado Murray with the high boot. And you're watching Mount Pleasant FA TV. Remember to like, subscribe, share, click the notification bell when this channel goes live, or when videos are being broadcast. You will be able to see them, access them. The score at this game, Mount Pleasant playing Harbour View. Harbour View in white, Mount Pleasant in blue. Mount Pleasant presently lead by 3-0. 2 goals in the second half by Nicholas Nelson, and a goal in the 34th minute by Gadail Irving. And Mount Pleasant, they're at the top of the table here in the Jamaica Premier League on 75 points after this result. So they came into this game on 72 points, 40 points ahead of their opponents, and are stretching that to 43 by virtue of this result, barring a miracle, as Smith now tries to get by Parchment. Parchment must be happy to have seen the back of Devante Campbell. Really was a menace as Smith. Parchment looks to be struggling, just not walking freely there. But just about 7 minutes to go in the encounter, plus stoppages, and we see Bennett now to take this free kick. So 3-0 in favor of Mount Pleasant, and next game will be against Racing United, as foul there. And just sort of frustration there, tired foul, as Mount Pleasant not relenting, fresh 5 players new on the pitch. And Smith now will come back to McCullough. McCullough now comes across to Topi. Topi will play it to Bailey. Bailey now across. This is Green to Bailey. Bailey wants to come inside, but he turns, stays with Green there. Green comes back to Anglin. Anglin will come all the way to Topi. Topi goes back to Bailey. Bailey inside to Ming. Ming now to McCullough. McCullough back to Ming. Ming. McCullough now outside to Shaw. Shaw to Smith. Smith now to Nelson, who is pushed to the turf, and Nelson did the right thing to keep his cool, although he wasn't happy with the challenge there. And referee Mason just obliges here, as we have a stoppage in play. And now the yellow card will be shown to the man Thompson.
Yep. Me tell him that from day one, but
so 3 minutes to be added here. 3 minutes to be added as we approach the end of this game, with Mount Pleasant leading by 3-0 and on their way to win number 24, as ball now with Green twists and turn, come to the edge of the box, but Black there, and Green again with a chance, saved by Bennett. So just some late drama here as this ball chipped inside, now comes to Anglin, and Kang tries to recover, but Anglin does well to keep possession. Still Anglin here, could pass back to Bailey, to Topi, which he does. So just some excitement at the end of the piece here, as Shaw wants to go inside but dispossessed by Harbour View. Chambers will come but misses out. But no problems there, cleaned up by McCullough. Is now with Anglin over on the far side. So final moments of this piece, and whatever the weight of the lady she has already sung, it's just a matter of time and can't come too soon for Harbour View, because as things stands, it looks as if it would be more goals conceded. No signs of them getting even a consolation here, as ball out for a throw. Throwing to be taken here, Harbour View. But again, Shaw will take over. Comes to Bailey. Bailey plays it out. Looks for the run here. He's got Stewart. Stewart now will play this one up for the run of Lewis. Lewis will have to get by Kevin Bailey, which still has the ball. Hasn't gotten by Bailey, but still has the ball. Kang now over on the far side. Back to Lewis. Lewis chips it inside, and Chambers will take over here for what could be the last action of the game, as we are into stoppage time. Chambers will get treatment after the game, so won't waste the time here to ask for treatment. So he, Chambers, former Harbour View man, as bowls this one outside. McCullough now, and the team steps inside as we see a throw-in now. The verdict ball comes back to Kevoni Bailey. Kimoni Bailey comes now to Green. Green on the far side to Anglin. Anglin will come across back to Green. Green goes down under a challenge, and literally a matter of time here, as Green again on the ball. Will play this one inside. Harbour View now through guard. Here is Lewis. Boots this one long upfield, looking for the run of Chang. Can he get there? No. And again, the fans leaving as we have the final whistle here, with the news that Mount Pleasant, they have won this game by 3-0 as we look at the highlights from this exciting at times but dominant performance here by Mount Pleasant. 3-0. Gadail Irving in the 34th minute, Nicholas Nelson in the 61st and 63rd minute, as Harbour View got us on the way in bright and sunny conditions. This is the first goal. Celestine, the man, combining well, playing back to Irving. Irving just looked and just passed it past Bennett in goal. Couldn't react as the ball came through the crowd. That was 1-0 in the 34th minute. Second goal here coming up. Nicholas Nelson, 1v1. Bennett on his knees, just toe poked it past Bennett in goal. And goal number 3 here. Good work by Edwards. Came across to Campbell. Campbell got the shot off, deflected the first time. Again with the shot, Bennett pushed it wide, and Nicholas Nelson was there waiting to give the leaders a 3-0 lead. And
yeah, I think it was a well-deserved victory. I think we came out this afternoon and played. We were aggressive, you know. In our press, we play with a lot of intensity. We create chances, we score chances. So overall, I think it was an excellent performance from the guys.
Well, you have been working in the first half. So many chances especially young Devante not capitalizing.
Well, I wouldn't say a word. The fact of the matter that we were creating chances. So at any point, once we get one, then we know, you know, it would be smooth sailing for us. But I think the guys, they went out there and they played this afternoon.
Coming out from there, this must not now lift your spirit. It's a second back to back when you're out. How is this for your team going forward?
Well, at this stage of the competition, we can't talk about spirit. You know, if the guys are not motivated at this part of the seams, then what else? You know, we should be sharpening up and getting ready for the final segment, you know. So I think we are in good spirit. So
You know, in the playoff stage though, what was feeling for your team?
well, yes, it's a challenging season, you know, but again, we don't want to take anything away. We want to take it a game at a time and try to get the doubles on the board. So I think it's rewarding what we see and looking forward for the rest of the season.
Finally, Alex Marshall is there in the world on him.
Well, yes, he's in good spirit. He'll be back with us. He won't be out for long. He won't be out for long, you know. So another 2-3 weeks, he should be good.
We shall listen.
All right.